Hey guys, this is Curtis Patrick. I'm the lead Dynasty football writer for Pro Football Focus Fantasy, and this is Dynasty 2-Minute Drill. The Minnesota Vikings made waves early this offseason in free agency when they signed quarterback Kirk Cousins away from the Washington Redskins, giving him a fully guaranteed deal. This is unprecedented in league history. Well, as a dynasty owner, what does this really mean for the Minnesota Vikings offense? They already have a lot of fantasy studs there. Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen are widely regarded as top 12 to top 24 wide receivers in the dynasty community. Dalvin Cook is a consensus running back one despite having torn his ACL just 4 games into his rookie campaign. What people aren't talking about, though, is the purple reindeer. It's Kyle Rudolph. Rudolph has been so undervalued the last 3 seasons in PPR leagues and especially in Dynasty. 3 seasons ago, he was the tight end 15 in PPR. He followed that up with a tight end 2 performance in 2016 and a tight end 8 performance in 2017, despite the team having less passing volume under quarterback Case Keenum. I wanted to take a look at what Rudolph has done in the last 3 years with his hodgepodge of Vikings quarterbacks versus what Kirk Cousins has supported during his tenure in Washington to see if Rudolph could be a hidden benefactor of this new signing. So in the last 3 years, what Kirk Cousins has done in Washington at the tight end position has been pretty astounding. He has distributed 24.4% of his overall target share to tight ends, and they've averaged 137 targets, 99 receptions, over 1,100 yards, and 8 touchdowns each season. In contrast, the Vikings, they've given the same amount of target share, just a percentage lower, but due to overall less passing volume in Minnesota, the tight ends haven't produced, even though we've told you that Rudolph has been pretty productive in a PPR setting, the overall group hasn't produced like what Cousins supported in Washington. 117 targets, that's 20 less, 21 fewer receptions per year on average, almost 400 yards less per year on average, and 7 touchdowns. What does this mean? I think Cousins will drive the ball Rudolph's way for 2 reasons. One, he has supported some dynamic, very productive tight end performances in his career so far, most namely Jordan Reed, but he's even helped resurrect the corpse of Vernon Davis, giving him some new life in his mid-30s. And we also know that there's just not the same competition for targets among the tight end 2 and 3 in Minnesota like what we saw in Washington. Washington had Vernon Davis. They had Niles Paul at one point that was slightly productive in that 3-year window. Behind Rudolph, Minnesota's got David Morgan and Blake Bell. I mean, Rudolph is going to get the majority of Cousins' attention in 2018 and beyond. I think he's a great value buy in any dynasty format, especially tight end premium. And if you're in a startup draft, you can be patient. Don't feel like you have to pull the trigger on O.J. Howard or George Kittle or David Njoku, even some of these young guys that were drafted highly last season. Just wait a little bit longer. Take Rudolph. He's going to outperform them immediately and maybe even for the next few years.